What a fine-looking lot you are. You must pass through the Hall of the Dead, but don't stop.
So we're here at Spooky World Presents Nightmare in New England in Litchfield, New Hampshire. The world-renowned Spooky World. It got its start back in 1991, I believe, in Berlin, Mass. And made its way up here. What's happening tonight?
I'm gonna get scared.
Yeah, nothing new there. So if it wasn't for this brand new Hayride attraction, I actually wouldn't even be here today. I'm excited to see what exactly they do. The original Hayride, if anybody has ever been to it before, back in Berlin, it was quite impressive for what they had back then anyway. Put Hayrides kind of on the scene. This is the first year that they have rides too. That's the one that'll kill you right there. That's the one that'll kill you slower. I'm kind of confused because they had this big thing about having somebody actually name their haunted hayride, and a whole bunch of people submitted everything, but it seems like they're just going to be calling it the haunted hayride. So.
What the heck are you doing?
What?
We just ate, you dummy.
I don't care. This is awesome. 9:04. Not a bad night. Oops, that's reverse. That would have made it a bad night. I guess we'll just start off at the beginning there. The hayride. How did we like the hayride?
It was pretty lame except for two parts. There was an airplane wreck. And that was cool, but the scene was lame. They needed better actors.
What it seems to me that there's two employees on each wagon. There's obviously the wagon driver and someone who seems to be like the audio taker or something. There was a girl in the corner of the wagon in the front, and she had what looked kind of like almost like a power strip on the railing, and she had to like read the paper to figure out when to push which switch. And that was when I understood what the hell those switches were about, because that was the only sound that I could really like comprehend what it was. Two airplanes crashing.
I only saw the one plane.
There was definitely two planes.
I saw wreckage spread out, but it was one plane.
There was two planes.
I didn't.
Doesn't matter how many planes there was because they didn't make a story out of it.
I know, they should have.
Okay.
That was wasted.
Right.
Awesome idea, wasted effort.
The idea of a plane wreck is not awesome.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. There's nothing awesome about that. What's so cool about a plane wreck?
It was cool. They had this big, cool plane there. I've not seen that anywhere else. I like that. You can do a lot with that.
It's a broken plane.
Yeah, it was cool. And where do you see that everywhere? I've never seen a plane wreck anywhere.
I just don't know what's so cool about that.
I liked it. It was a different scene.
Whoa, a broken plane.
It was a different scene than I'm used to see. I like seeing different things.
If it was a broken jet or something, that'd be cool.
What?
But no, this was just like a regular stunt plane or whatever the heck you call them. Little tiny charter planes, I guess.
Plane wrecks are something significant to see. It's cool. It was a good idea, but they didn't execute it right. So.
All right. Okay. Again,
Yeah.
I don't know. You're not convincing me that a plane wreck is cool.
cool to see. Just weird. You go through all this other stuff, you see all these things that they made and everything, and the only thing that they did with that scene is somebody was getting rid of a broken plane, and they put it on a flatbed, drove it to the spot, and dumped it there.
And they had little parts that were on fire. That was cool.
Very strange how one person can look at something and be so enthusiastic about it and appreciate it so much, and somebody else can't. The only thing that was cool about the plane thing, in my take, was that they had this big giant fireball effect that happened in the back of it. A giant fireball. Not like a burst of flame, not like a flamethrower. A giant nuclear mushroom cloud fireball. That was cool to see. And then all of a sudden a little girl ran out and she was like, "Help me! Please help me!
Yeah, that was
Help
stupid.
me! Help you with what? What are you? The lone survivor? What? I don't get it. What are you?" And then there was one other part that you liked, and that was the spiders, right? You go in there, and there's a whole bunch of spider animatronics. So one of, I think, Unit 70's big animatronic guys.
It was like an alien spider, too, with fangs. That was cool.
We can sit here and nitpick all the little nitty-gritty details about the scenes on the Hayride, but as a Hayride, how does it compare? I would say that the wagon itself is fairly large. The tractor itself was a little loud. I've never been a real big fan of these big giant speakers on the wagon itself. The only thing that it tries to do is kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Overpower the sound of the tractor, so you don't have to listen to that all the time. The sounds that were coming out of the speaker were almost piercing and just annoying. It just,
and then they were giving us that warning when we were going in, and then it just cut off too early. Remember that happening?
it cut off at the last, 2 words, though.
Yeah, but it cut off early. It sounded
Now
like
sit
like
back and enjoy your...
Yeah.
Well, of course... No, that's fine.
That sounded like
that's
a
fine.
failure.
If it cut off during the rules, that'd be one thing.
Whatever.
It cut off.
It did.
I can't believe you remember that.
Of course, I remember that.
That's one of the most insignificant things that happened all night. It didn't finish the word ride. This sucks. There was a lot of scenes that they built up, and then the tractor just kind of goes through it. There's no real scene. There's no real characters. There wasn't a lot of actors at all. The very first thing that I saw that was a really well put together set was this jungle set. These people were up on rope bridges that were tied across from tree to tree, and all these tree huts all over the place. And naturally I'm thinking, oh cool, what are they going to do here? And the answer was not really much of anything. Just kind of jumping around and ooking or something, whatever the hell they were doing. There was some big butcher shed too. You just kind of drove right through that. It seemed to be the most detailed one to me. It just, I don't know.
Oh, no way. The spider one was way more detailed.
Because they have too much butcher netting all over the place to look like spider webs. That's easy. No, the butcher shed itself was a bunch of body parts and stuff all over the place. So, but the deal is that it just kind of kept going. It never stopped. There's always been stops on every hayride I have ever been on. It stops somewhere to let some kind of a scene happen. And the fact that it didn't on this one is just kind of, I don't know, almost insulting. I feel that they're in good hands. They got a lot of people there that are very dedicated, but maybe they just didn't have enough of a crew or enough time to finish it. Maybe they're working on a whole big thing, but definitely need to make the opinion known that a good hayride has a good story, or at least good scenes. Not not a walkthrough where you don't get to use your legs. Other than that, Brigham Manor, that was alright. The one with the glow stick.
Oh.
People like that, you don't. Whatever.
I've liked it before. I didn't like it this time.
I've seen a hell of a lot worse. There's
They
good
had
detail
more
in there.
happening in the yard in previous years, though, didn't they?
Like what?
Didn't they have like this big car with a fire show or something? I don't know. I just feel like they had more happening in the yard.
A car with a fire show?
Yeah, they had like a car and there was fire going off.
And there was also a show? Okay.
Or there was fire happening.
Fire was happening.
There were barrels with fire.
There was barrels and fire was happening.
It was just more interesting. It was just a house with some people running around.
Oh, you mean right there at the house in particular?
The outside. Like they used to have a big scene on the outside with like junk cars and then it lit on fire.
There was at one point, I think, a car.
Yes, I like that.
And then before the actual house was there, they had the old entrance to Ravenclaw, their big cemetery attraction. Then it became the Colony, that big area out there, and they had a whole bunch of bodies hanging from a giant tree, and there was a whole bunch of stacked junk cars, and there was a couple of them on fire. That was a cool setup, yes. This big facade that they made, though, that cover up the big top tent that they build the Brigham Manor in, though, is pretty impressive. I really like it. As far as the house inside goes, it's a detailed, nice, haunted house. There's really nothing much else I can...
Maybe it was too dark and I couldn't appreciate it.
Maybe, but people like the darkness and I get it. So, whatever. I can't really take points off of that. But then the Colony. Colony has always been kind of fun. You just walk around in the woods there and there's a whole bunch of sheds and everything you gotta duck under and get into and get out of and run away from. It's just, I don't know. It's a grand old time there in the old Colony. Then we went into Carnage, which is in its second year here.
Wait, can we go back to the Colony for a second? Because for some reason, all the actors in there thought it would be awesome to blow in my hair. 3 of them did that. I was like, what the hell is this? Why? Why are they blowing in my hair? That's gross. I don't like that. Do you think it's cool when people blow on you?
Yes.
Why?
Ain't nothing like a good blow. That was a spit. How was that?
Me around and blowing in my hair, but it was really irritating.
All right, moving on to the Carnage. Pretty much, they got sick of making walls for a haunted attraction, so they brought in broken cars and made it out of that. Oh, and
that's cool.
Dumpsters and shit.
That's cool. I like that.
I don't really know what the hell to say about it. It seriously is. It's just a whole bunch of junk there that they threw and all over the place and tried to clear out a little bit of a walkway. And it's kind of like a mechanic, like, haven, I guess. I don't know. What was the last one? The Festival of Fear or Carnival of Fear? Festival of Fear, right?
It's Festival of Fear.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm done talking about freaking 3D clown attractions. God, they're so goddamn boring.
Ugh.
To me, anyway. To her, to a couple other people that go to them all the time. Oh, God, every single time I walk out of one of them, too, it's either the person in front of me or the person behind me. That was not scary, but that's so cool with the 3D. That's so, the paint pops out. It's so cool. No, it's not. The one thing that I do kind of appreciate about 3D attractions is only because they can bring you the clown theme. In doing so, you almost force certain actors to start doing a completely different character without really asking them to. And for some reason, they always end up doing it. Any other position that you can put them in, there's a 90% chance that they're just going to pop out of nowhere and go, "Arr!" But you put them in a clown makeup and everything, they go, "Hi, how are you today? Want to play with me?" Every single one of them. It's weird.
If they sign on to be a clown, you know you gotta act like that.
But it's weird. It's almost like instinctual to a human that's what you gotta do.
circus for all clowns.
We're all infected. I mean, it was a very, very slow night. Opening weekend, a Sunday too, so they probably had a lot of actors that were going to school tomorrow, and they just said, no freaking way am I working that night, man. There wasn't like a merchandising booth, which is very strange. They used to have a huge one. I don't know where that went. Spooky World operates on a family fun center called Mel's Funway. Most of the attractions are built on the driving range and in back of the woods, but there still is, there's two buildings in Mel's Funway. There's a laser tag complex and a house that they use for an arcade. They used to occupy both of those areas and make really nice, elaborate haunted houses. For the last couple of years, they haven't been doing that, and I completely understand why. Those are things that you actually have to break down and set back up and every again, and bring them all into a building that's already got a bunch of crap in the way. So, but for some reason, when they did have them in there, they were really, really well done. We're just hoping that the Hayride maybe next year will be a hell of a lot better. They'll have a whole year to work on it, and they'll do something right.